From a distance, it's almost impossible to tell apart the Korda sisters. Both are nearly 6 feet tall and share a similar, unique swing technique. And the times they've played together, their matching uniforms made it even more difficult to tell them apart. When they paired up for the 2019 Solheim Cup at Gleneagles, despite losing, the Korda sisters' performance showed a glimpse into what was to come for the duo. Currently, Jessica and Nelly are some of the most popular figures in women's golf right now. Not only are they in the prime of their careers, but they are also huge contenders at every event and major. In this video, we'll be exploring the background of the Korda sisters, their achievements in the sport, and how Nelly has blazed her way to the top. Meet the Kordas. The Korda sisters were born in Bradenton, Florida. This was quite the fortuitous sign, given that Florida and California are two of the best states for a career in golf. What's even more interesting is their parents. The Kordas are one of the most athletic families in the United States. Their father, Peter Korda, was one of the highest-ranking tennis players of his time, winning the Australian Open and climbing to number 2 in 1998. He'd only win one Grand Slam title in his career. Regina Rakitova, their mother, was also a tennis player from Czechoslovakia. She represented her national side at the 1988 Summer Olympics in Seoul. Her highest career ranking was number 26. Jessica is the eldest child, being 5 years older than Nelly. They also have a brother, Sebastian Korda, who's also an athlete. However, rather than golf, he takes after his parents with tennis. In 2021, he won the Emilia-Romagna Open, and by May of 2022, he achieved his highest career ranking of 30th place in the ATP singles. Jessica Korda. Despite only being in her 30s, Jessica is considered one of the veterans of the LPGA Tour. The older Korda sister was bound to have a great career in professional golf after her accomplishments at the amateur level. For instance, she participated in the U.S. Junior Solheim Cup in 2009 and the U.S. Curtis Cup in the year that followed. Before all of that, she qualified for the 2008 U.S. Women's Open, where she played the only round in the 60s on Sunday. It wasn't until 2009 that she made the cut. By 2010, Jessica was such an established act that she finished as a runner-up in the U.S. Women's Amateur, losing by 2-1 to Danielle Kang. She turned pro in the same year, bagging a 19th place finish at the Avnet LPGA Classic as her roomie highlight. Jessica found even more success in the years to follow. By 2012, she clinched her first win at the Women's Australian Open, which was the opening event of the season. This victory did not come cheap either, as she had to compete in a heavy-hitting playoff against the likes of Brittany Lincecum and Stacey Lewis. Over an eventful career that's still unfolding, Jessica Korda has managed 6 professional wins, all coming on the LPGA Tour. She's come close to major championship victories within that time, too. For clarity, she's had 9 top 10 major finishes to date, including placing second at the 2022 Chevron Championship. Nelly Korda. Unlike her older sister, Nelly Korda turned pro in 2016. However, a shorter professional career hadn't stopped her from becoming one of the most decorated women in golf. After an impressive spell on the amateur stage, Nelly had turned just 14 when she qualified for the 2013 U.S. Women's Open. By 2015, she was already on a roll, winning the Ping Invitational, Harder Hall Invitational, and the AJGA Rolex Junior All-American. To make the year even special, she qualified as part of the team for the 2015 U.S. Junior Solheim Cup. When the professional phase of her golfing career began, Nelly Korda participated in the Xtra Tour. She'd end up winning the 2016 Sioux Falls Great Life Challenge, her first ever professional event. This victory secured her a place in the LPGA Tour in 2017. Only a year later, Nelly registered her first win in the LPGA at the 2018 Swinging Skirts LPGA Taiwan Championship. In 2019 and 2020, she enjoyed back-to-back successes, including more high finishes and wins. However, all of these victories pale in comparison to her successes in 2021. She ended the LPGA season with 4 wins, including the Women's PGA Championship, where she aced the course by 3 strokes, and the LPGA Major, her first since joining the tour. By August of 2021, Korda participated in the 2021 Summer Olympics and won gold for the U.S., which was a first for the country since 1900. By the end of the 2021 season, she peaked at #1 in the Rolex rankings. She'd occupied the top spot in women's golf for 29 weeks, after which she lost it in January 2022. That was less about her form and more about an injury. Nelly announced that a blood clot had formed in her hand and took some time off for the surgery and healing. Upon our return to the 2022 U.S. Women's Open, she placed 8th. Top girl Nelly, title reclaimed, and the journey so far. Despite losing out on the #1 spot in the Rolex Women's World Golf Rankings in January 2022, Nelly Korda reclaimed her place in June of the same year. This was a memorable achievement because she became only the 3rd American golfer to claim that spot since the rankings were first introduced to female golf in 2006. While being the 3rd person to do it tends to dwarven Korda's accomplishment, any fan of the sport knows just how difficult that can be, especially since other countries like Mexico, Taiwan, Sweden, New Zealand, and South Korea tend to dominate the top spot rankings more than others. Christy Kerr was the first American golfer to pull off this feat in 2010 when she occupied the top spot for 5 weeks. Then, in 2014, there was Stacey Lewis, who topped the charts for 25 weeks. Korda may only be the 3rd golfer to do it, but she's certainly beaten out her predecessors with their 37-week-long stay at the top of the rankings. Then again, it was the 6th time she reclaimed the top spot in her career, and she had done it twice in 2022 after carding a final round 69 at the Fir Hills Surrey Park Championship, overtaking Lilia Vu. In 2024, Nelly Korda already has 2 victories to her name and is tied for a 16th finish at the Hilton Grand Vacations Tournament of Champions. This has kept her firmly rooted in the top spot despite having been a pro golfer for about 8 years. As far as career earnings go, Korda has about $10 million to her name, with an astonishing 57 top 10 finishes. But she's not done yet, because as of March 2024, she was leading the pack by 11 points for the Rolex Player of the Year trophy. And in the race to the CME Globe, she's kept a 65-point gap to her closest rival, Lydia Ko. On the 31st of March 2024, Korda further shot up the leaderboards with 69, which pushed her from a tie for 20th to 6th place to earn a spot in match play. This means her chances of winning the LPGA Tour for the 4th consecutive time are still very much within her grasp. If she does win the trophy for the 4th season running, she'd be the LPGA golfer to hold the record since Lorena Ochoa in 2008. Trailblazer overcoming injuries. For her 3rd consecutive LPGA win, Nelly Korda had to shake off an injury crisis and return even stronger, dominating the bogey-free 65 Sunday to win the Ford Championship at 20 under par. It was such an incredible run as well, including a 7-week gap between wins at the LPGA Drive-On Championship in January 2024 and the Fir Hills Surrey Park Championship in March. This takes Korda's numbers to 11 career titles, thrusting her into the same category as some of the all-time greatest of the LPGA Tour. At only 25 years of age, she became the first American to win 3 tournaments before April since 1980, when Joanne Carner pulled it off. Given how close Korda is to a 4th consecutive title despite only making 4 starts in 2024, her first fully healthy campaign since 2021, you start to get a better picture of just how resilient is the Floridian. In 3 of her last 4 seasons, Korda has struggled with injuries. That's nearly half as long as she's been a professional golfer in the LPGA. In 2020, she had to withdraw from the KPMG Women's PGA Championship due to a back injury that kept her sidelined for 2 months. Then, in 2022, she had to undergo surgery for a blood clot, which kept her out of action for 6 months. And in 2023, she was out of action for a month due to a lower back injury. We'd have to go back to 2021 for the healthiest Korda has ever been. It was her most dominant year, too. She had 4 major victories that year, including an Olympic gold medal and the KPMG Women's PGA Championship. In 2024, we're seeing a similar resurgence in the golfer comparable to her 2021 form. Korda chucks it up to a better mentality and a stronger physique. She explained prioritizing her fitness and strength during her 7-week leave, something she did less of in the past. The golfer also feels her maturity in the game has helped too. This new Korda seems to have it all figured out, and that much was evident on the stretch at Seville Golf and Country Club in Gilbert, Arizona. She began Sunday 2 off the lead, competing against an otherwise crowded leaderboard. But that started to change when she teed off 3 groups ahead of the leaders. By the beginning of the final round, about 15 were 2 strokes shy of first place. In comes Korda to take the lead at 18 under on the 13th with her 4th birdie of the day. She tied rookie Hira Naveed and Lexi Thompson on number 15 after both fingers also made birdie to catch up to the Floridian. The heated 3-way tie felt like the perfect time for Korda to Nelly things up. Instead, we got a calm and composed close from Korda while her opponents buckled under the pressure. She opted for a layup with the 7-wood on the par 4 300-yard 16th hole, especially as she had hit the driver and found water earlier in the week. Korda sunk a birdie on the 18th to pull away from the crowd on the leaderboard before retiring to her clubhouse to warm up on an otherwise chilly day. This brings her even closer to securing the title on a clean bill of health. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. As always, I'll see you in the next one.